Welcome back. From this step, let's start making the screens look better. We have a few pages now. Let's start using CSS to make them better. We'll use a framework called Bootstrap. Bootstrap is one of the most popular UI frameworks to style your pages. We'll use Bootstrap to make our pages look better. Before we start with Bootstrap, let's add a header and footer to the pages. What I'll do is I'll go to the to-do app.jsx. This is where we have the basic app defined. So this is where we have everything defined. So we need to have a header and the footer, right? So what I'll do is I'll have a class header component extends component, and let's say this would play the role of a header. In the render, what should I do? Simple, right? I just need to return. Let's create a simple div and return that back. So let's say a div and header, and let's have a HR as a separator. That's cool. Let's also create a footer component. I'll just copy paste this and let's call this footer component. And for the footer, let's have the HR or the horizontal rule first, and then now I would want to use the header and the footer component on the page. How can I do that? The way I can do that is inside the router over here, I'll include the header component, and after the switch, I would include the footer component. Cool. Let's see if the page has a header and footer. Yep, we have a header, we have the body and the footer. So let's go to the login page, and if I say dummy and login, and here you can see that the header and footer remain static, whereas the body of the content or body of the page keeps changing. That's cool. So we have the header, body, and we have a list of to-dos. That's awesome. We'll now start adding in Bootstrap. If you search for Bootstrap, the first link will take you to the home page of Bootstrap. Bootstrap is one of the most popular frameworks to style your pages. One of the great things about Bootstrap is once you use Bootstrap properly, your web pages would look good on the mobiles as well. So if you use Bootstrap properly, you'd be building responsive websites. One of the options that we have to get Bootstrap into our project is to add a dependency on Bootstrap. What we'll do is we'll take a shortcut, and I'll actually try and bring the direct CSS into our project. What I would search for is Bootstrap for Unpackage. Unpackage is one of the content delivery networks. So what we'll do is we will get Bootstrap directly from there. So if you search for Bootstrap for Unpackage, it would take you through one of these links, and over here click CSS and take bootstrap.main.css. So copy this URL. Now we would want to import that CSS into our project. Since we would be using Bootstrap across the app, I would actually create it directly in the source folder. I'll say new file. I'll call this Bootstrap. Actually, let's use small b, bootstrap.css. And what I'll do in here is I'll import the CSS from that URL. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the URL and importing it down here. So into the bootstrap.css file. What I'll also do is in the app.js, I would import the bootstrap.css. In addition to the app.css, I'll also include in the bootstrap.css file. Now, as soon as you save and you go to the to-do application, you'd see that the pages are much better formatted right now. So if you go to login, you'd see that there is a little bit more space between the elements. The font size is a little bigger. All that is coming in because of Bootstrap. So let's say dummy login and here. So the pages look a little better than what they were earlier, but we still are yet to make proper use of the Bootstrap framework. In the next couple of steps, let's make use of the Bootstrap framework and configure the header, footer, and also make sure that the pages look better. I'll see you in the next step. Until then, bye.